good afternoon, everybody. It's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. I have hastily spray painted this black early this morning before I left for work, and now I'm home, and let's paint this up. So this is the barn we raised yesterday in competition with my arch nemesis, the Amish. Which way is the front? I need a way to mark the front and the back so I can put the roof on straight every time. All right, let's set this off to the side. Let's start with the ground, and the ground is going to be Dollar Tree deep brown. So let's get a little bit here. If you're admiring this new mat, well, yeah, I did get a new mat. Joanne Fabrics is going out of business, and Mrs. Doom was over there, and I told her, and she said, "Do you need anything?" And I said, "Well, I need a new mat." And she got me this really, really big mat that I can't even get in the frame. It's so big. Bigger than I'm used to, for sure. I didn't really need a new mat, but I wanted one. It's okay if you get this on the sides of the building some. I don't think it'll hurt it too much. I never went back and put planks on there. I forgot about it. But I did think to throw some pool sand on here, some filter sand on here, so I had some texture around the building. I'm glad I remembered that, because that would have looked awful goofy if this was flat and perfect instead of matching all the other terrain. I'm just using semi-watered down deep brown. To get it in most of the cracks and stuff. And I don't care if it's perfect, though with that black undercoat, it might be a problem down the road. So we will get a little bit more and just try to cover up some of those darker spots. And they'll naturally lighten up from the watered down paint going in there. Need a little more paint. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Boo-doo-boo-boo. Yeah. Probably more than I needed for sure. This brush is probably a little too soft for what I'm trying to do. That's all right. It's already dirty. Oh, some notes. I should have supported these with wood better. They're a little flimsy. See that? But I think it'll be all right. I don't know how many times I'm even going to ever use this, so making it too sturdy or too perfect isn't really a priority. I think we got most of it. We'll hit it with the hot air real quick, though. Okay, now for the sides, I have a color called Barn Red somewhere in my bin here. Let me look for it. Flamenco, Cardinal, Tuscan, Flamenco again. Damn it, Doom. I knew I had Barn Red. There we go. Barn. Now we got the barn. We'll be all right. Oh, it's a little gross. Oh, my new paint shaker came in. I always forget to bring shit down here. I still have to bring down the stuff that I got in my fan mail to show you guys, and I haven't. I really want to show you guys. Because I didn't think I was worthy of fan mail. And the fan mail I got was phenomenal. That's chunky and bad. Okay, so we're just going to half-ass it down the side. We're putting 100% effort, 100% of our ass into half-ass or something. I've said it before. Go watch old videos if you're trying to figure out what I mean, because I don't even know. Now, this color is called Barn Red, but it's just not giving off the vibe I wanted it to. So we'll hit it with the air gun after I get everything red. And I think we're going to change this color up a little bit. We'll see how it looks, though. I'll get a fair shot. Because it is called Barn Red, which would indicate that it should be the right color. Unless, of course, Walmart's lying to me. Can we trust Walmart to tell me the truth? Find out next on Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. Yeah. And let's get here. And there. Make sure we get it in the cracks. La 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 la. I was reading a thing about Christopher Lee, the guy who plays Saruman and Dooku. Apparently the dude has a pretty immense story. I mean, he's passed now, but he's done some pretty crazy stuff. And I had read about him before, so I kind of was aware of some of the stuff. But he actually hunted Nazis after World War II, and at 90 years old made a heavy metal album. I mean, the dude's been around doing some stuff. He's definitely some kind of cultural icon for my generation, and the generation before me too, I would suppose. Red, red barn, red. Give me your answer, do. Oh, man. Years ago on Netflix, they made us, I think it was on Netflix, I don't remember, but on some platform, MTV had put out a Scream TV show. And even though it wasn't like the story of Ghostface and stuff, oh, it was really good. I thought it was. And I'm right. It was good. All right, so let's look at this red. And even though I don't think this red was quite the color I was looking for, I think it's not the worst either. Let's hit this with an air gun and take a look at that. All right, I'm not real pleased with it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a different red, and what I'm going to get is this flamenco red. I think it's a little more like what I wanted. And I'm not going to do an enormous amount of work with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a smaller brush than this with less coverage, and there's a valid reason why I'm doing that. Because I'm a dork. I'm looking for something kind of wide and soft. Not as wide as that one, though. So I'm going to get my paint here. I'm going to wipe some of that off, and then I'm going to just kind of give it a little variation. Nothing too drastic. I want to lighten it up some, but I want to maintain kind of that like dismal faded undertone. Okay. Sweet. Let's ditch all this. Now we know barns have white trim. At least we think we know that. I'm not sure how good this is going to work, but I'm going to get some white paint and a brush that I can kind of keep some straight lines with. Because I believe we're going to need 2 coats of white, is what my belief is. Now, traditionally, I guess you would see like X's, white X's in the framing and stuff, because on the doors they would be supported with like 1x4s or whatever. Or I don't know what kind of lumber sizes they used in the Old West. I assume they probably used a lot of rough cut stuff. I don't know. I really don't. But what I'm doing is just doing it and working with the trim that I have available. I didn't make any special trim to make white. Probably should have. Oop. Got a little bit onto the body there, but maybe the fellow who painted this or the lady who painted this was doing a bad job. Maybe they were in a hurry, or maybe they just didn't care, or maybe they got paid $1 to do it and it was a $3 job. Who knows what reason it is, but they got white on a part that shouldn't be white. Look at that, got more sloppiness going there. I'm just doing absolutely terrible. And we gotta do this back part here. Need a little more white. A little more white. Oh. Making a mess. Okay. And I don't think there's any more wood on that. We'll clean that up. Getting my favorite color on the entire planet. Pavement. And I'm going back to a wider kind of brush. And then on my roof here, with a dampish brush, I'm just gonna darkify everything or undarkify everything with a little bit of this pavement. It looks like there's some red in there. I think I didn't clean my brush properly. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. My brush just popped into more pieces than it should be. No problem. Okay. Something like that should be real basic and easy to do. But I want to make sure that I get that little bit of red I got on the edges cleaned up for sure. And underneath here, darken that back up real quickly. I'm going to do this corner here and come down onto this side. Something like that. Top part, this should be pretty easy. I'm going to lighten this up a little more thoroughly because I have some cracks in here showing that I don't like of brown. I have some words of wisdom I'd like to impart upon everyone watching. The first word of wisdom is, as hard as it gets to be patient with people, and I struggle with this too, the people that we love, even when we're mad at them, we still love them. So we got to go out of our way and try to, like, if you think that Mrs. Doom and I don't ever get frustrated with each other, or I don't ever get mad at my kids, or, you know, I do, it happens. And, but remember that you love those people. And I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I remember that Mrs. Doom, when she's mad at me, I remember that she still loves me. And it makes it, you know, a little easier to deal with. And when people are yelling at you, or you're yelling at people, or you're mad, just stop and try to remember that there's still love there. And that love, you can hurt it if you go too far. You can put holes in people. You can be damaged. I know, like, and I don't want to sound whiny, but I, you know, stuff's been said to me in my life, and people have done things in my life that still bother me to this very day, and I don't want to ever do that to anyone I care about. So when you're out there yelling around and talking to people, remember that. Okay, we're going to get a little bit of that wet and kind of get it in that crack there to cover some of that up. And let's get our roof. Where's the front? On there like that. And then I'm going to do a little more touch-up work in that gap there. Okay. Something like that. We have one more problem to deal with, and that's because some of our ground out here needs some work. And I am a little concerned about the inside being really, really boring. So, my concern of the inside being boring, I'm just going to dab in here with a really, really wet, deep brown and give that some color. So it'll instinctively, even though there's no texture there, maybe remind us of the western landscape. Maybe there's dirt or sawdust or dust in there, whatever it may be. Let's get in there and bring that around and show people that that's, we at least half-assed an effort to make that look like something. Okay. Good. We don't want any real noticeable lines. I'm not going to paint my inside walls. I am going to paint my stoop. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some red touch-up for some of the messes that I've made. So let me rinse my brush out a little bit. Okay. That paint water is really nasty. That's okay. All right, that red color. I'm going to get my red and squirt it here. That's a lot. I only wanted a little. And I'm going to come in here with a damp brush and just kind of red up that platform a little bit. It doesn't need to be perfect by any means. And even though I said I wasn't going to paint the inside, we can just kind of dab some red around in there to make it look like something. Make it look like there's some kind of color change as you look in the window in the front open door. You know what I mean? Nothing too spectacular or important. I don't foresee the inside of this getting a whole lot of use. Just throwing some people's guns in there to shoot at the party. Nothing too fancy. Okay. And that should be good enough. Let's come around and clean up a little bit of the places where we got white where it shouldn't be. And you don't want to go too far in the other direction and make mistakes like I just made where I got a little bit of red on the white, but I'm going to leave it. Like I should have left that. I'm going to get rid of the rest of that paint on my brush. Cool. Sweet, sweet, cool. What am I doing wrong here? There we go. All right, so that should be a, well, that's at an angle, but that's our barn. And let me see if I can pop this off and let's get a look at it. Oh, I need to do the ground. Okay, so to do the ground, let's just be lazy as shit. Khaki, where are you hiding? There we are. Let's get some khaki. This is going to be hard to do. I'm holding the phone in my hand. All right. A little bit of khaki here. Let's get a wet brush, very wet brush. Like this. Let's get that khaki. Really super damp. And just lazily smear that around with different amounts of energy. And let's get some of this mixed with some of that red. Come back around and hit it again. Let's grab that board and paint that too while we're at it. That front board there that's on the floor. And we got some red down there that's just super red on the ground. Let's just smear that around and make it all part of it now. Get a little more color mixing there. Hit that side. Oh, it's hard to keep the camera going where you're trying to work. All right, so that's going to take us to our kind of normal, traditional desert look we go for. And then you can just, if that's not fixed it enough, you can just get just water. That's all I have on the brush right now is just whatever was left there plus a little bit of water. And I'm just kind of breaking up some of the really noticeable lines of where the colors come together because I'm being quick. Okay? And when this dries, it'll be all right, I think. All right, now let's take a look at it again. All right, there's the barn. Here's Hamilton or Hampton or whatever his name is to, what is this? Damiel. Well, in the campaign he was in, where he was an NPC, his name was Hampton, I think, and he was a love interest of one of the PCs. And then they were going to get married, and then the other PCs threw a giant wedding, and it drew the attention of the big bad, and it went terribly. But anyways, hey, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and all that happy crappy that kind of helps the channel grow. And check out the website, www.dungeonswag.com. There's a hyphen in there somewhere. Link in the description. There is a discount code under my video that'll give you 25% off your first month's box, which is a pretty significant savings. If you wanted to just check us out and get a month to see if you like it, that's good. Also, if you join our Discord, there is a promotional code you can request to get a free miniature. I don't know if we're still doing that. Yeah, we are. I think so. So do that. That'd be good. If you've never bought anything from us before and you're not registered with us, then you can get a free mini. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.